pictures of desks. Yeah, so just look at one. Just see what you see. Okay, and now we've got another one. So, what environmental psychology can tell us about these two desks? Okay, first question. Which person has more control in their life? Are you sure? People who feel they're in control of their lives don't mind clutter. I know. It's a big part of my presentation. So the more you feel in control of your life, the more success you will have. So obviously for some people maybe that's appropriate, and that's fine. It's not a judgment whether it's good or bad. I'm just sort of quoting the research, and maybe that's what they need. Maybe at some point it will look like this. Doesn't matter. But it's interesting take. So this is one of the books that you should read as a Feng Shui consultant. It will free you from the oppression of clutter. Perfect book. It's not the best book, or you can read a review on my website somewhere, and you don't have to read that. But I'll tell you the key points. To maintain order, it takes enormous amount of time. So if you've got a perfect environment, and there's a bit of clutter, suddenly it's out of order and it's difficult to maintain. So obviously there's a scale. Too much clutter, you know. My desk gets cluttered, and there's a moment I have to unclutter it, and there's nothing because I can't find things, and then it gets in. But there's some robustness to clutter. It's natural. We all clutter. I mean, our thoughts are cluttered, our work is cluttered, things are unpredictable. So why shouldn't desk be cluttered? There's nothing wrong with that. It's only, again, the change, the shift in your paradigm, how you see it. And also kind of, you know, when you look at it, this mess is often in the eye of the beholder. But clutter is more flexible. You can do more with a cluttered environment or system than with a very rigid, organized system. A lot of invention comes out of clutter. We wouldn't have penicillin if it wasn't clutter. Yeah? He had a messy, you know, lab. Very messy. You know, things were happening. Invention efficiency, it's much more efficient. Cluttered sort of system. Obviously, again, question of degree. And inclusiveness, so you can include anything in clutter, but in an ordered environment, it's kind of exclusive. It's a different sort of mindset. So what's the most important organizing tool in your home? I'll give you one tip from the book. It's the best tip, the only tip actually, how to deal with clutter. A magnet. A fridge magnet. That's how you organize your clutter. On a fridge, you put all the important things. It's at least one place. People do it all the time. It works. But it's evident that a lot of creative people were very cluttered. Freud, mentioned earlier, he had a small house, and he managed to cram like 2,000 antique furniture in his place. It was so cluttered, people couldn't pass. I'll tell you one quote from this book. Benjamin Franklin was an early advocate for the high effective, and he advised, this is his quote, "Lose no time, be always employed in something useful, cut off all unnecessary actions." And Franklin practiced what he preached, assiduously avoiding, for example, time-wasting habit of interacting with his wife and son for much of his lifetime. So, there's place and time for everything. I'll give you one story how clearing clutter works. And I've seen it many, many times. And obviously, in Feng Shui, we recommend clearing clutter for specific reason. So I had this client, and she had a big factory in Poland of sort of, she was producing paints and sort of wallpapers, kind of decorating stuff. And she came to my talk and she said, like, can you help me, can Feng Shui help with you know, because I've got a lot of people who owe me a lot of money. Some people for 5 years, yeah. And so I said, well, just clear the clutter in the helpful friends area. So she did that over the weekend, and guess what? On Monday, everybody gave her the money back. It just blew her mind away. It blew my mind away. She became my student. It was an amazing consultant. Just one thing changed. So you can imagine, like, how, I mean, it's a miracle, you know, several people organized themselves and in one day gave all the money back. And some people won't have for, like, 5 years, they didn't want to give the money and so on. So it does work. Okay, simple things. You've got clutter, create a space. You've got stuff. Just create, can't see it very well, but just create one space where you've got some space, some balls. Okay, going quicker now. Symmetry balance. So when you see an environment like this, where there's a lot of symmetry, not much happening. It's very static. You look at the background, it's the same. Yeah. So obviously there's a degree of, I look for balance, so whether it's symmetrical or not, but you always look for balance. A thing to remember, how your brain works. Yeah? So if you're in a cinema, which side of the screen would you sit to have a good experience of the film? And they researched that actually. So your right brain here, left brain, logical, creative. So you want to position yourself so the information goes to your right brain, emotional side. So you sit on this side of the screen. And they've done research on that. People who have better experience of the film always unconsciously prefer to sit on that side. So again, the same with placement. You can play with that as well. Spiritual sort of places, shrines, little things that kind of reminds you about who really you are. So any little thing could be just on a shelf and will create a nice feeling. You will change your energy. Kind of going faster now. So how do you decode homes? I use sort of 4 sort of simple ways to figure out the pattern. So what is repeated the most? What's the most exaggerated? What changes? What is missing? That will give you a good overview what's happening. If you ask yourself those questions, or you've got them running behind in your mind as well. But again, those 2 other questions: what does it do? How does it make you feel? And how do you Feng Shui? So obviously the first thing is to make the environment safe, very important. So take care of electromagnetic radiation, geopathic stress, all kinds of things. If something is blocked, just unblock it. If the area feels sort of weak or dark, you just make it strong and strengthen it. Add some light, add some plants. If something is tight or cluttered, loosen it, relax it. One of the things that they do a lot in advanced psychology, they ask people to draw a picture. And they ask people to speak to a house. If you speak to your house will tell you exactly what to do. One example, I had a client on the phone and she said, I need more clients. She was working from home. I said, ask your home. And the home immediately came the answer, fix the doorbell. Simple as that. She's seeing people in home, the doorbell never works. Yeah? Empower your home with love and awareness. If you put a lot of love and awareness, this will work. Yeah? And create sort of a brain-friendly home. Have lots of things, lots of stimulation or peace, so we have a variety of things that work on different levels. So key points of this talk really. Feng Shui works. It's been validated in many different ways. You go online and start to find your examples, how they overlap with Feng Shui. But it's really practical. All those examples, everybody can do it. There's nothing magical on one level. But on the other hand, it is magic. But now we know how it works. So I think we will start to see more kind of scientific Feng Shui, where Feng Shui will develop with realm to psychology and other disciplines. But the key thing really is intention rules. Intention is the most important thing in my case. So your responsibility to your clients and yourself is really to empower yourself with positive intention. And then you can do anything.